It's Tuesday. It's noon. I'm alive. We're live. We're gathered together again today. Carefree cooks from everywhere. Chef Todd Moore. And we're together. I have to make sure that I always forget to turn the volume down. So good to be together again with the Carefree cooks everywhere. Who is speaking with us? Hi, Terry. Terry's with us from Miami. Terry Burns. Darlene is with us as well. Good Darlene, Cecile, and Jim Straub. And Kathy is with us. And Pat is with us. Oh, this is so great. We're all coming together. Hey, Bob Dudley. Hey, Quyen, all our favorite people are with us again today for Carefree Cooking, our Tuesday Talk Live. This is where we get an opportunity to discuss the items that are going on in the cooking world and how good food and cooking can directly impact your life. And you know what? If it's not Tuesday and I'm no longer alive, not alive, no, wait a minute. Let me say that again. If it's not Tuesday and you're not watching live, let's put it that way. So if you want to get an alert, go to webcookingclasses.com/live and sign up for my Facebook alert system, and you'll get an alert 15 minutes before we go live, because I have a tendency to pop up at random times now when I think of something that I want to show you that I'm cooking in my home, or a food topic that I'm thinking of. And if you've missed any back issues, make sure if you've missed any back issues, you can go to Pinterest or you can go to Instagram as well to see the back issues of our Tuesday Talk Live. Because if you're a carefree cook, you create your own recipes. You don't need some cookbook author to tell you how to cook. And what happens when you create your own recipes? This brings your friends and family together. It's amazing how it improves your social standing. You learn every time you cook. You don't blindly follow recipes. You learn and make it better the next time. And this helps you to define your own cooking style because you practice pro methods and you love your cooking. That's what being a carefree cook is all about. Oh, today also I've got a true or false for you. Let's play another true or false because there are so many cooking myths. I've got probably 100 of these, but today, microwaving destroys nutrition in food. Is this statement food true or food false? Tell me in the comments below. Give me a true or false. Microwaving destroys nutrients in food. I'm going to give you the answer at the very end. So I want to ask you today, are you feeling a little guilty? Have you felt a little guilty in the past? I know I have. I've done it. I've traded nutrition for convenience, and I'm going to make a serious admission to you today. When I owned my catering company way back when, I did a lot of really nice upscale catering. And I would come in early in the morning, and my chef, Greg Razor, rest his soul, we would work together, and we would create these amazing dishes. And I remember I had a contract with the University of North Carolina School of Dentistry. They would fly dentists in from everywhere, and they would be the proctors for the final exam for the dentist organization. So we would have to feed these dentists. They were used to having some pretty good food. And I remember one time in particular, I made beef tips in mushroom gravy. Beautiful, creamy sauce. It was good. I put it in my catering van, big letters on the side, savor, hospitality, upscale, business dining catering. I go off to the University of North Carolina, these rich guys, dentists from all over the world. I set out this beautiful buffet, the beef tips, filet mignon, the potatoes, the so on, and I'm all done with it. And I get in my van, and do you know where I went? I went to the drive-thru at McDonald's. I was hungry, you know? When I cooked as a caterer, I never looked at it as food. It just like was widgets. Like I wasn't hungry. I was making this beautiful food, and I go to the drive-thru at McDonald's. The worst part is I'm in my catering company van. Savor hospitality, upscale catering, and somebody caught me. Luckily, it was a friend was like, dude, you can't go to the drive-thru at McDonald's in your advertised van. So you talk about feeling guilty about trading nutrition for convenience. I had all this beautiful food at my fingertips. I didn't eat any of it, and I got caught doing it. It was horrible. So let me ask you, do you trade convenience for nutrition? If you do, I understand. I do. I've been through it. on a massive commercial level, treating my clients so much better than I treated myself, that I treated my own body. And I understand, because you're busy. Everybody's busy. We all have work, right? We got to fit in exercise while we're trying to watch kids, you know? You've got family responsibilities. You've got chores. And of course, don't forget eating. You know, you got to get a meal in while you're trying to do all these things. And all this food is very convenient to never get out of your car or your catering van to get lunch done. You've got to sleep. You've got to bathe, you know, keep yourself clean. You've got kids that you have to take care of. And oh my goodness, is there any bigger time sucker than kids? If you have children that you've got to take care of, they devour their own long list of time. So my goodness, you have to prioritize. You have to start making a list of the things that are most important, the things that you can do. I mean, unless you're going to get more than 24 hours in a day, something has got to give. I like it. So what are you going to do? You're going to just go ahead and tell your job that you're going to work less? I just think I'm going to work a little less. Maybe you should stop taking care of your health. Maybe you should just quit exercising. That takes up a lot of time, right? That should help. Or you know what? I already said that it's the children that take up all the time. Why not go ahead and, or why not stop bathing and get rid of all your friends, right? Why don't you stop cleaning the house? Why don't you just take those kids that take so much time and go ahead and send them off to college at age 6? They're going to go anyway, right? Just why wait 12 more years? You can gain a lot of time if you send your kid to school now. Of course, this is all ridiculous. I'm being really silly. But in truth, what's the first thing to go? You know, when you're really pressed for time, the first thing to go is sleep, isn't it? You sleep less, or you can't sleep because of the stress that's on you. That you start walking around like a zombie. And of course, being a zombie does not help your family. Being a zombie does not make you any healthier. So sacrificing sleep does not get you to a better place. And the next thing that happens is cooking and nutrition. That's the next thing to go. So you're tired, you're cutting corners on your cooking, and now you're malnourished as well. And I've seen it happen thousands of times. I have seen people constantly trading nutrition for convenience. As I admitted to you, I did it myself. I haven't told that story in a long time. I did it myself. I did it on a commercial scale. So of all these things that suck up your time, you finally convince yourself that it's the cooking. It's the cooking that is taking up so much of your time, and you convince yourself that there are viable alternatives. There are convenience foods, right? There are microwavable foods. There's takeout foods. There's delivery now. There's the drive-through window. But ultimately, all of these things you've got to know deep in your heart. And for your health, your well-being, and your children, these are just empty calories. And you're filled with guilt. You're like, oh, I do not care what I eat. I do not care if dinner, right? You fall into this somehow French noir cooking depression. It's terrible. Well, look, I can't help you send your kid to school at 6 years old. We're not going to do that. I can't become a friend to all your friends because you stopped bathing, but I can help you get a small amount of time back, because I can help make your cooking easier, faster, so much more nutritious than you ever thought. And what this all starts with is a repeatable cooking method. A method of cooking that you can do again and again. What takes the most time in cooking is the lack of confidence you have. When you have to start with, oh my goodness, I don't even know what is for dinner. I don't even know where to start. And the last recipe didn't work out. And I'm really not sure. It's this reliance on written instructions, the uncertainty if your meal is going to come out or not, because we all know there's nothing worse than spending all that time cooking, right? Investing all that time only to serve a disappointing meal. Or even worse, a meal that doesn't even make it to the table, and you do wind up calling for pizza or delivery or something. It's horrible. And it's no wonder that you say, well, look, at least the convenience food is dependable. At least the microwave food is dependable. Well, now, if it's dependable you're looking for, if you'll trade time for dependability, I'm your guy. I can show you how to do this. So all of this is going to stop right now because I want you to cook like me. It's really that simple. I just got back from Phoenix, Arizona. I was out at a workshop to try and figure out how we can change more lives, how we can get more people. And I met a lot of other people there that are changing people's lives. And there was a really amazing person that I met in Phoenix that boiled it down for me. I was telling her, I teach coagulation of proteins and gelatinization of starches and the science behind cooking. I must have confused the heck out of her because she said, after all this, bless her for listening to me, she said, oh, you just want me to cook like you. I said, that's absolutely brilliant. I can't believe it. And if I ever thought about trying to get people to cook like me, I've got to get back to the basic saute method because this started years ago. When I opened my cooking school in Cary, North Carolina, my goodness, 12, 13 years ago or so, we used to offer a free cooking class on Monday nights, free cooking class, and it was not hard to fill a free cooking class. And I knew that in just 30 minutes, I had to keep this to 30 minutes. In just 30 minutes, I really had to grab these people because I wanted them to join my movement of cooking by method. This is where all this started years and years ago. It started with 6 or 8 people at a time. Even a class where I taught 1 or 2 people, I would still preach about cooking by method in my cooking school. So when I had this free demonstration, I knew I just had 30 minutes to grab them, to give them something that would empower them, that they would be able to go home and put on the stove immediately, that would solve so many of the problems that home cooks experience. And this all comes down to the 9 steps in the basic saute method. And this is where we start in web cooking classes. This is where I started in my brick and mortar cooking school. This is where I start with tomorrow's professionals in culinary college, because if you can repeat the same 9 steps again and again, you can cook anything. Let me show you how this works. Step 1, get the pan hot first. This is the first mistake home cooks make. They try and cook in a cold pan. Then you add some fat. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be butter, it could be olive oil, it could be walnut oil, lard, bacon fat, it doesn't matter. But you need to get the fat hot. Second mistake home cooks usually make, cooking in a cold pan with cold fat. We're going to add our main ingredient, our protein product, or if you're a vegetarian, this is where your tofu, your tempeh, your portobello mushroom cap, it doesn't really matter if it's beef, pork, chicken, or vegetables. We're going to cook this item 75% on the first side and then 25% on the second side so that we don't just flip it over and lose all the visual indicators of whether it's done or not. Then we're going to take it out of the pan and rest it on a plate and add aromatics, things like onions or garlic or carrots or celery. Again, it doesn't matter what you want, but the pan is going to be too hot, so we deglaze the pan with liquid, with chicken broth or beef broth or orange juice or anything that you want. We're going to reduce or thicken the sauce and return the product to the pan to cook in the sauce. 9 steps in the basic saute method. It changes people's lives. I've been doing this for 20 years. These are the 9 steps that do it. This is how you turn cooking into a dependable process rather than a guess process. So usually the way I do this is I used to teach people my South of France chicken. Pan hot first, add some olive oil, fat hot, add a chicken breast. It doesn't have to be chicken. 75% on one side, 25% the other. Nice caramelization of sugars, nice fond in the bottom of the pan. Remove it to the plate. Add my aromatics. This is shallots, deglaze with some white wine. I'm going to reduce that. I add a little bit of whole grain mustard, some goat cheese to thicken it. Add the chicken breast back in, and it's South of France chicken. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could make the South of France chicken at home? Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. Put in the comments, yes, I can, if you think you can follow 9 steps and do Chef Todd's South of France chicken. I want to see more hearts than that. That's good. I appreciate the hearts I'm getting. I want to see, all right, you're not impressed yet. How about this? Let's go ahead and do South of Mexico chicken. Same 6 first steps. Pan hot first, add some kind of fat hot, protein product, 75-25, remove it to a plate, but now I'm going to add onions and jalapenos. I'm going to, a little cup of jalapenos. I'm going to deglaze with tequila or just margarita mix or lime juice. I'm going to put a scoop of jarred salsa. Everybody has a jar of salsa in their cupboard, right? That's going to act as a thickening agent, and I've got South of Mexico chicken with the same 9 steps. You like that? Give me those yes! Look at all those hearts. Thank you so much. For those of you that are not hearting me yet, you're a tough crowd. I can feel it. There's your South of Mexico chicken. Could you make that tonight? Those are all pantry ingredients that you have right now. If you're still tough crowd, let's do South of Italy chicken. Pan hot first, some kind of fat hot, protein product, 75-25, remove it to a plate, and now we're going to use garlic as the aromatics. We're going to deglaze with red wine. We're going to add half a can of chopped diced tomatoes. Again, a basic pantry item, and you've got South of Italy chicken. Same 9 steps, 3 meals now, okay? Should I stop? Should I stop? Is that enough? Tell me stop. No, I don't see any stop. Keep going, Chef Todd. How about South of Hawaii chicken? And we're going to use ginger as the aromatics, pineapple juice as the deglazing liquid, some crushed pineapple as a thickening agent. You like that? It's South of Hawaii chicken. If you don't like that, how about South of Indonesia chicken? Pan hot first, some kind of fat hot, protein product, 75-25. Aromatics is ginger and garlic. Coconut milk is the deglazing liquid. Peanut butter is the thickening agent. You get that peanut, coconut, saute. This just goes to show you that it can be anything. It can be South of Greece chicken, deglazed with sambuca, thickened with feta cheese and olives. It can be South of Germany chicken, like a stroganoff, thickened with sour cream and mushrooms. It can be South of chicken marsala the same way, but it doesn't even have to be chicken. I don't want to leave out any vegetarians or vegans. They're great people. They eat great food. How about South of Hawaii tofu? South of Germany tempeh? Marsala mushrooms? South of Greek falafel? Just do it with veggies. The same cooking process over and over again is a dependable method that immediately saves you time and enables you to cook anything in any style for any diet. So if you think you're too busy to cook, it's because you're not sure of how and what you're going to cook. So if I can solve that for you, if you instinctively know how you're going to cook, oh, I'm going to do those 9 steps in the basic saute method. That's easy. That's figured out. And I'm confident in doing it because I do it almost every night of the week. Then it becomes kind of a game of when you open your pantry closets, whatever falls out is what you're going to cook for dinner. Doesn't that fit into a busy life better than searching for recipes? Doesn't a dependable method fit into a busy life so much better than trying to search through TV game shows and do what that professional chef does? It's really amazing. It's the 9-step basic saute method, and this is what we examine everywhere because, as this person in Phoenix told me, it all comes down to, I want you to cook like me. And you know, I've spent decades and tens of thousands of dollars in culinary college. I don't want you to do that part. I want you to just do the end part, which is where we cook great and we enjoy food without being stressed by it. That's how I cook. And that's what Emily said to me. Emily said, she brought it down so perfectly, and if you listen to podcasts, I don't know if you're into podcasts or not, but if you go on iTunes, find Emily Long. She has a podcast called The Fit Life, and she really has a great insight into using these tools that you can, efficiencies in your life that can make your busy life that much more enjoyable. Get rid of the stress and focus on the things that really make your life important. And my small piece of it is cooking, is so that I can help you with that cooking. So there are people in our Carefree Cooks community that are practicing this every single day. It's not, it's not some mythical thing that Chef Todd dreamed up, and it's no magic trick. You don't need to be a professional to cook like a professional. You don't need years of culinary school to cook like you did, right? You went there. So I go quickly through this week's posts in our Carefree Cooks community, and I see people using the 9 steps in the basic saute method again and again. Lisa decided to make a steak dish, but she only had 1 pan. She has her cast iron pan that she loves so much. So she sauteed some shiitake mushrooms in butter, then she threw some onions on top of that, sauteed the onions in with the shiitake mushrooms in the cast iron pan. She throws her steak on top of that. Nice, it looks like a sirloin or a ribeye steak. Throws her steak on top of that. Beautiful, nice bit of rosemary and bits of garlic in there. Same pan, take the steak out, rest it on a plate. We're going to put asparagus on top of that. Sauteing the asparagus in the rendered fond from the steak, right? Think about the levels of flavor that are being built here. Excuse me, and there is her finished dish. It's a steak with mushrooms and onions, a great pan sauce that occurs almost naturally with your asparagus. In 1 pan, my guess is certainly under a half hour, and she probably just dreamed it up based on the ingredients she had. Great job, Lisa, using the basic saute method. Who else is with us? Oh, Jason. Jason took some ground beef, cast iron pan again, ground beef, onions, jalapenos, peppers, things like that. Looks like some refried beans as well for Jason, and then some knife skills, right? Really don't need to apply heat when you have really good knife skills, and chopped up some jalapenos and some cheese and some tomatoes. It's Mexican night. How easy is that? Saute some ground beef, saute some chicken. You got Mexican night, and some tortillas and some peppers and a really skillful photography. Jason takes the most beautiful pictures, and it's Mexican night. How long could Mexican night possibly take? And your kids, would your kids not love making their own tacos together or their burritos? How cool, right? Debbie says after, this is her homework from Web Cooking Classes lesson number 3 on the basic saute method, actually the advanced saute where we start making a pan sauce. She sauteed shrimp. She made a pan sauce by deglazing with white wine. She put green onions in it, some lemon juice, and hoisin sauce. Another great pantry item that you can have on hand all the time that you instantly create an ethnic flavor, a worldwide cuisine, a worldwide flavor with the same 9 steps in the basic saute method. Nicely done, Debbie. Melody made a spicy Thai coconut curry. My goodness, 1 pan saute method. Just because saute has like a French name doesn't mean you have to cook a French dish, right? So she's making this beautiful Mediterranean dish. What does it say? Right on the stovetop. It is thickening up right now, she wrote, as she took this picture. Added dried Thai red chilies for a little more heat. The sauce is made from curry paste, coconut milk, a smidge of tomato paste, red bell pepper, garlic, ginger, some chicken broth, and a little bit of fish sauce, another pantry item. But the same 9 steps that I'm telling you about again and again makes this dish as well. Larry is with us this week. Larry, I know, is from Baltimore, hun. Hey, Larry. He's doing a shrimp Alfredo by following the 9 steps in the basic saute method, deglazing with milk that would thicken and add Parmesan cheese. 1 pan, basic saute method, does everything from curry to Alfredo. It's amazing, isn't it? The ability to use a dependable method is the thing that saves you time week over week over week, anytime that you have to cook. Let me see what people are saying. Oh my goodness, the hearts, the love. Thank you for the love, everyone. I'm trying to look on my phone. Where are those comments? All right, I have to play. Don't you swipe? Isn't that how you do it? All right, let's turn the phone. There we go. Okay, now I got the comments. Hey, I normally have basic stuff already prepared, mini meals to go ahead. That's great to save money, Quian is saying. Bob Dudley, we had microwave reheated chicken ballantine leftovers. I see this a lot in our Carefree Cooks community. You can follow people. They're like, oh, I roasted this beautiful chicken, and it is beautifully roasted. And you'll see them a day later like, oh, chicken salad, you know, here's my chicken salad. Or maybe 2 days later is the chicken salad and chicken burritos. We talked about that maybe 2-3 weeks ago when I talked about, look for the Tuesday Talk Live that is titled Restaurant Systems for the Home Cook, when we talked about creating a cycle menu. That's another way to save time. Thanks for reminding us, Bob. I appreciate that. Pat Gregory de Jesus, batch cooks, puts things in Ziploc bags. That's a great idea. Jim is here, early comments. I'm still getting love. I'm still getting hearts. That's so cool. Who else is asking me questions? Hey, good afternoon from Deborah. That's good. Lots more hearts. Happy Tuesday from Don Traub. That's so good. Good. A lot of people. Everybody seems to know each other so well that you spend most of the time greeting each other. That's good. Making a lot of people hungry, that's always good. Getting a lot of highs, that's so good. I love our community. I love when we gather together like this. Linda's joining us from Australia, from Melbourne. Miriam from BC, Canada. So many of our friends in Canada. Harleen, very excited about the subject. That's really good. So look, I'm really not here. And when I was in Phoenix talking to so many people about how I want to empower home cooks all over the world to cook freely, without stress, without issue, they said, oh, well, you're a health coach. And I said, well, no, not really, because if you want to cook low fat or low gluten or, whatever your issue, that's fine. But if you also want to cook high fat, the cooking doesn't change, How you cook doesn't change, only the ingredients do. So I make no judgments about what you eat. But today, all I really want you to do is cook. Please stop with the microwave plastic things. Please stop with the convenience foods, because you can assuage your guilt. You can get rid of the guilt that I had when a guy came up to me and said, dude, I saw your van that says upscale catering at the drive-thru at McDonald's and you were in the driver's seat. Don't suffer anymore, because there are 9 steps in cooking that'll solve all that. And I hope you want to do that as well. Let's get back to the true or false, and this gets to our topic today exactly. Microwaving destroys nutrients. What did everybody say? Do you think it's true? Microwave does? False? It doesn't? Well, the answer today is true or false is actually false. Microwaving doesn't destroy nutrients any more than any heat source does. And actually, because cooking times in the microwave are often so much shorter, it destroys nutrients less. All of cooking breaks down fibers, evaporates moistures. All of cooking, obviously, to your eyes and to your palate, it changes the food. So nutrients are lost in cooking. You can eat raw foods and do that, or no matter how you cook it. But here's the issue, and it gets to the point that we're talking about today. The microwave doesn't destroy nutrients, and any kind of cooking does, but I'll tell you what the microwave destroys, for me at least, the enjoyment of food. There's a pleasure in cooking. There's a pleasure in cutting the ingredients and the smell, people walk into my house, it's sauteing onion and garlic, it smells so wonderful. Microwaves don't kill the nutrients, they kill the enjoyment. And if you have a dependable 9-step process for cooking, the enjoyment returns because the stress is gone, and I hope you do that. The best way to start your own journey to becoming a carefree cook is to get my guidebook. It's the 5 Forks to Carefree Cooking, because there is a journey to becoming a carefree cook. There are choices you have to make along this path, along this road. There will be a fork in the road, and this guidebook will tell you which one to take. So go to webcookingclasses.com/forks to get your Carefree Cook's Guidebook. Thank you for being with me again today on this Tuesday Talk Live. It's Chef Todd Moore reminding you that there's a method to your cooking success. We'll see you next Tuesday, if not before.